It says upload photo to undress.
Yep. I'm going to use your work profile image.
I'm about to be deepfaked, and it's as unnerving as it sounds.
I'm nervous to see what this is going to look like.
This is one of countless sites, easy to find online, that uses artificial intelligence to nudify images.
We're going to
Undress.
Undress.
Oh, God. And then it says AI will help identify the clothing.
The result, a fake image that I never took that looks real enough.
Oh, that's so gross. It just feels icky to see my head on a naked body. It's not me.
If I were just posting this on social media, I mean, it would convince a lot of people.
At least 50 teenage girls have been caught up in a fake nude photo scandal.
Yeah, a large number of online chat rooms have been found to be sharing sexually explicit deepfake images.
Deepfake porn is on the rise.
We've seen an explosion of what have become known as deepfakes.
AI-generated pornographic images of them.
With more cases now in Canada, too.
A London high school has sent a notice to parents regarding students sharing AI-generated images.
Created for revenge, extortion, even just the satisfaction of the perpetrator. Anyone with a photo on the internet can be a target, with children often in the crosshairs.
As these tools are made more available, as they become more sophisticated, we see that this problem is going to continue to be exacerbated.
And if it happens to you, there may not be much you can do about it.
These were the messages that I got. You know, sounds like a teenager.
16-year-old Ruby in Toronto was targeted in a deepfake phishing scam. She received these messages telling her there were photos of her online, trying to get her to click on a link.
And they're not gibberish messages, like it looks legit.
I'm pretty good on social media about knowing when something sounds sketchy.
But when she refused, Ruby was sent an explicit deepfake. A once fully clothed photo she had posted on social media now showed her topless.
It looks so real.
Yeah, it looks very real. And
we're not showing the image, the original photo taken when Ruby was just 13.
How do you feel seeing them now?
It just grosses me out. It always grosses me out. Someone who I do not know has this picture of me where I really do look naked. And whether or not that's true, that's a really disturbing image that someone has.
What kind of emotions were going through your mind?
I didn't do anything wrong. There was nothing I could do to prevent it. It just happened. And then I was filled with a lot of anger. One of the worst things that could happen to you is that a nude picture of you is online, because nothing ever leaves the internet. And suddenly, I was in that worst case scenario.
When we were talking it through,
Ruby quickly told her parents, Daniel and Karen, who say they felt helpless.
I think one of the most powerful things that she said is, it just hurts that as a woman, my body is being weaponized against me.
How did you feel hearing your teenage daughter say that to you?
That hit hard, because it's not fair that somebody can take something and use her image against her.
We didn't know how to help make her feel better and how to really know where this photo was and where it was going.
There's one main tip line for all of Canada to report sexually explicit deep-faked images of young people, and it's here at the Canadian Centre for Child Protection in Winnipeg. They said last year they processed 4,000 of those images, and it was their very first year tracking them.
Right now we're going to be going into our cyber tip area,
Lindsay Lobb is the operations director of support services here. The sheer amount of complaints about images, deep-faked or not, can be overwhelming.
What's happening here is our analysts are receiving reports related to online child sexual exploitation from the public. They're processing those reports and triaging them to the appropriate police or child welfare service.
Once images are reported here, their digital fingerprint can be flagged and added to the center's Project Arachnid technology.
Project Arachnid crawls the internet 24/7, scanning thousands of images a second and issuing
an effort to stop the spread of child sexual abuse material. But the rise of AI deepfakes is making it harder to keep up.
How does this trend compare to trends you've seen in the past?
because of the availability of these tools that are often even advertised or made available for free. This has continued to grow and evolve and continue to be a problem.
Sexually explicit deepfakes of minors are considered child pornography under Canada's criminal code. But prosecuting those cases can prove impossible. There are so many deepfake tools online, and so often the perpetrators are unknown or outside of Canada.
You've got timelines on IP addresses and how long internet service providers retain their IP addresses, getting the screenshots of the chat. It's definitely by far the most complex type of investigations that law enforcement has to deal with.
Corporal Heather Bangle is with Alberta's Internet Child Exploitation Unit. She says most often young deepfake victims are being targeted for money.
Whether the child sends an image or if they use deepfake, they use an intimate image and threaten to post that image and say it's them and ruin their life if they don't send them money.
Do you remember your reaction when you realized we have this new problem that's fueled by technology? The technology is going to get better. We already have so many cases.
I can't remember the exact moment, but I do know the more I learn about AI and deepfakes, I do remember feeling and saying that this is going to be a nightmare.
The challenges can be harder still if an adult is targeted, because there is no clear offense for that in the criminal code.
For somebody who finds content like this online and is trying to figure out what to do, it can be really confusing. I think we are seeing...
Toronto lawyer Molly Reynolds represents adult victims in civil cases.
Say I were to learn that there was an image of me on a site where countless people could see it, what would I be able to do?
Oftentimes the first route is to go through the takedown request to the particular platform. There may be civil law or criminal law routes to make a claim for harassment. However, if a stranger just takes your image anywhere in the world and turns it into a deep fake, it can be very challenging to find a legal path in Canada to stop that.
The government's online harms bill targets tech companies to force them to do more to remove sexually explicit deepfakes, but the bill is tied up in a precarious parliament.
There's two tiers.
Molly says there are faster, more effective solutions.
For example, a discrete amendment to the criminal code to ensure that deepfakes are included in the criminal offense for non-consensual distribution of images, instead of waiting on this very broad legislation that may be not passed for other reasons.
All the while, the technology is rapidly improving, as I experienced firsthand.
We're gonna undress.
Ugh, gosh, it's just not fun to see this.
Yeah, again, this would have taken a couple hours in Photoshop in the good old days. Every year, we're gonna see massive generational leaps in the realness of those images. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the White Hatter.
Brandon Lohr is an online safety educator delivering workshops to schools across Canada.
Let's pretend a hacker gets your password here.
That education more in demand as schools start to see deepfake porn cases of their own. Students targeting other students.
Is there anything that when you're talking to students, you say that they can do to protect themselves?
The answer to the question, is there anything you can do to prevent this? Never post something on the internet, but
not going to happen for a teenager.
That's not going to happen, but you really can't control what other people post about you. And once you press that send button, once you press that post button, you do lose some control.
Salt.
As far as Ruby knows, the deepfake of her was never posted publicly. The family's goal now, raising awareness for others.
You know, this is not an easy thing to talk about. Why did you want to talk to us about it?
The more people know about it, I think the more empathy people will have for victims. I think the better protected everyone is. What's still being taught around cybersecurity is that nothing ever leaves the internet, and to be safe, don't take nude photos. And that's true, but now it's an entirely other ballgame.